Did you know that there are 3 steps you can take right now to stop living that underpaid, overworked, totally ghosted as a freelance writer life where you're not getting any pats on the back for your high quality work? Let's dive in. I'm going to walk you through them. I'm Mandy Ellis. I built a 6-figure freelance writing business, and now I help other freelance writers hit 5-figure months with dream clients without the burnout, stress, and overwhelm. This is how we're going to get underpaid or fix our being underpaid. Number one, so this isn't just raising your rates. You should raise your rates twice a year or at least annually, but this isn't something where it's just like we're underpaid, so we should raise our rates and like hope that works. That's not the strategy. But if you are someone who's curious about rates, make sure to grab my free pricing guide. Go to mandyellis.com/pricing guide to pick it up. But you want to make sure that you're looking at your client analysis. So you should be having at least $500 to $1,000 a month from your clients, or $6,000 to $12,000 annually. That means you need to be doing a client analysis. I'm going to put that up here. So if you haven't done a client analysis, make sure you click this card and you go up there and do it. But you need at least this kind of viability from your clients. $200 here, $500 there, $1,000. That's not going to cut it. You're going to keep getting underpaid. And I don't want you to think of underpaid as just the rate per project. So there's a lot of times there are freelance writers who get stuck in, oh, well, the rate for this project is this, and I'm underpaid for this. You should be looking at 3 to 6 months annually, what those clients are paying out. It should not just be on a transaction basis of what you're getting paid for that project. It's a combination of things. So we need that kind of viability, and we want to be working with those clients long term. We want to be talking to clients who have other things in the pipeline, which we're asking about on the call, other clients who understand the long-term value of the content. And I really think when you're being underpaid, a lot of times it's that you're not understanding the long-term value that you provide to clients. Long after you stop working with clients, your work still brings in leads and sales and traffic and clicks and shares and likes, all the good stuff. So I always tell this story about the pool company. There was a pool company who published an article, that one article that brought in $15 million worth of sales for them. And let's say a freelance writer wrote that article. Do you think that the freelance writer got 10% of that or even 1% of that? No, but that value of content that you're putting out there, the high quality content, can bring in huge results for your clients, and you should be charging for that value. So you need to start building that confidence to charge for the value of the work with clients who have stuff long term. You need to be thinking about your work not on a transactional basis of like, well, my rates are 80 cents for this or $1 a word for this or whatever. You should be thinking long term about what each client is bringing in each year. And you need to remember the long term value that you're bringing to your client. Number 2, if you are feeling overworked, you feel like you're getting 0 pats on the back for putting out the high quality work, this is what we're going to do. I often see that freelance writers are taking too many small projects, or they're taking too many one-offs. They are taking on work out of fear that there won't be any more work or that they'll never get a client again. And that ends up making them work weekends, or they don't take breaks. They don't take enough breaks throughout the year because they feel like they're falling behind, they're making mistakes. Even if it's something serious, like a serious health or family or life issue, they feel like they're falling behind because they're not making this progress every day. So a lot of time the overworking is coming from this internal fear or this internal drive to keep taking on work because there's a scarcity problem. And that's just something that we want to work on. We want to get away from the scarcity, get away from the fear, and we don't want to keep taking on low quality clients. We want to keep driving towards our next best client. So we want to make sure that our clients are appreciating and celebrating our hard work. They are understanding that we're doing a lot of great stuff for them. We're providing a lot of value. And I often feel like when we're driving with like fear and scarcity, it comes off. It is desperation, perspiration. Your potential clients, even especially top freelance clients, which I call diamond clients, or even, great clients that are green light clients, those, they can smell it a mile away. So you want to make sure that when you're moving forward, you are scheduling your time off for the next year right now. So I do this usually in January or December. So you should be scheduling all of your time off now so you can schedule your work around it. And then you're going to plan your business income and your business workload in 3 to 6 month chunks. If you don't have work for the next 1 to 3 months booked up, then you need to be marketing right now, because you should be planning in quarterly chunks. This is really important, where a lot of freelance writers just end up taking on so much work and they're overworked because they're not planning far enough out. They're not ending up creating an actual plan for getting out of the situation they're in. So you need to create a plan for how you're going to slough off red light clients, how you're going to raise your rates, how you're going to get work for the next 1 to 3 months or 3 to 6 months, how you're going to take time off. You need to create plans for those things, and that will get you out of overwork. The other thing too is systems and processes. This is something I love to teach people, is systems and processes. So you're getting through the right things that are alleviating admin stuff or tedious things or stuff that you could outsource to a VA, or things that you could get done quicker if you just developed a repeatable system and process to do that. We also have a question here that I think is really good. So from 80, I think it's her pronunciation is 80 or Ade. How do I transition as efficiently as possible from red light clients to green light ones, since I have bills that I want to offset with writing income ASAP? I'm still strengthening my skills in content strategy and copywriting, plus making a portfolio that shows green light clients what I can do for them. So when we're going through this, when we're getting away from red light clients, I often think about it as a sloughing off process. We have to be doing the marketing, but you have to be targeting the right clients. So right now, your clients need to have at least 20 million in revenue. I usually say a lower number, but right now that just seems to be who's answering. At least 20 million. Some niches like biotech or pharma or life science need at least 100 million in revenue. But if you have, I have a little, Charlotte came in here. If you have at least 20 million in revenue, or let's say 50, I think that's kind of a good place to start with your clients. And then you want to start moving those red light clients out as you get green light ones. The more marketing that you can do to get green light clients and target the right clients and move through clients who are creating content consistently on their website, the better shape that you're in. So that's the first process. The other thing is that your clients aren't, these top clients aren't necessarily like, they're looking at your portfolio that shows you what you can do. I really would think about updating your copy on your website and LinkedIn. And you can go to this video here where I talk about updating your copy. But you want to make sure that you are updating your copy to speak their language. It's not just about your portfolio that's like a restaurant menu. It's walking them through how you're going to help, why you specifically can bring a bunch of unique skills, the things that they care about, results that you're going to help them get, all that good stuff, all mixed up in your copy. So it's not necessarily that you have to learn all this stuff, because every client has different ideas. So for example, I've had a client who gave me an example of a white paper, and I was like, that is not a white paper. Or I had a client be like, we're going to do a case study, and it was just not a case study at all, or it's this other thing. And I think a lot of times when we are doing this stuff, we get examples, and you want to make sure you're working from the example versus worrying about all the other stuff. So it's really about targeting those clients. It's really about targeting the right clients, making sure that when you get on a call with them, you're asking the right questions, making sure that you're updating your website and LinkedIn portfolio to attract the right clients, and that you're understanding your clients are driving towards a result with their content and marketing. It's not that you are like, hey, I have all this stuff. That's the backwards way of thinking about it, where writers are like, oh, well, if they just see my portfolio, that will convince them. That's not really the case. It's really, it's not the same thing as them going into a restaurant and deciding which sandwich they want. There is a lot of other stuff that we're putting in play with our copy and with things that we do on a call to talk to our clients. And this is something too that I go over more in depth in my free masterclass. So something that I'm going over to make sure that you understand how to move to green light clients, how to get rid of red light clients, how to make this your best year ever as a freelance writer. You can sign up for my free masterclass here at mandyellis.com/free masterclass. But I think this is something that a lot of writers struggle with, but I always think of it as a sloughing out process. You bring one in, get one out, bring one in, get one out, but you have to be doing the marketing to the right clients. You have to fix your copy so you're attracting the right ones. And you have to understand the things that your clients care about in terms of results for your copy. If you feel like that answer was helpful to that question too, make sure to subscribe. I go through this stuff all the time. If you have a question, you can always put it in the comments, and I'm happy to answer it in a video or just answer it in the comments. But if you feel like this has been helpful or you're moving forward because of this video, make sure to subscribe. I go over this stuff all the time. Number 3 here, So if you're living the totally ghosted life, I want to make sure to talk about this right now. So right now, my kind of LOI response rate is lower than normal. It's probably 2 to 3%. Normally, I say your LOI response rate should be 10 to 30% response rate, not clients, response rate. I see some people are getting 8 to 10% right now. We should be somewhere in that ballpark. So your LOI response rate is going to go up and down, but the response rate helps you track like who becomes a client, why they become a client, who you can follow up with as a warm lead. It's really helpful for the life cycle of your client. But I want to make sure that you know that silence is normal. It's normal for you not to get immediate responses, or for people not to respond for 3 to 6 months, or for people to engage and then disengage. That's normal. The biggest thing, the hardest thing for a client to do is to actually sign the contract and cut the check. So the thing where you're not getting a lot of replies, that happens sometimes. But silence is not a no. Sometimes it just means it's a not right now or a not yet. And I really want you to kind of shift your mindset to, we're trying to get our next best client. We're not worried about who didn't answer or whatever happened there. We're worried about getting our next best client. And our job is to plant those seeds. And as long as you're planting the seeds with the right people, the right revenue, the right potential clients for you, the ones who are creating content, doing all this stuff, you're going in the right direction, rather than worrying about all these people who didn't respond. Because there's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of people over your career as a freelance writer who will never respond. It's not about you. It's about what's going on in their business and whether or not they need help. And we also have another question on this that I think can be helpful. So this is another one from Adi or Ade. She says, are companies really hiring right now, or is it pointless to send LOIs when the year is ending and companies are closing their financial books? So yes, the philosophy that I always take on is the one that was told to me many years ago. The best time to send an LOI is today. The best time to send an LOI was yesterday. The second best time is today. So it's not about hiring right now. Like, there are plenty of places that will hire right now for end of year work or for things that come up in January. But this is the mindset thing that gets messed up. A lot of freelance writers think like, why should I do it now since no one's hiring now? It's not for now, it's for later. This is why I talked about earlier in this video, you should be planning 3 to 6 months ahead. If you don't have work for the next 1 to 3 to 6 months, now is the time to send those LOIs. Now is the time to do the marketing. It's not about avoiding it now because like right now someone's not doing it, and they are doing it. Just to say, I've had people answer on every single holiday, no matter how religious or how special the holiday is. I've had people answer LOIs. I've had clients email me. People think that they don't, but they do. They're bored at a family gathering and they check their email and they respond to you. So there are plenty of times that you will get responses on all kinds of holidays or time off or whatever. But the whole point is not right now. Like, you should never be sending an LOI being like, I hope this person responds today. If they do respond today, that's awesome and fantastic, and we love that, and we're very excited. But most people don't. Most people take a few weeks or sometimes even a few months to respond. So it's not about sending the LOI for like, hey, are they hiring right now? People are hiring all the time, especially now when there's a lot more freelance help that they need versus full-time help. But the whole point is to be booked for 1 to 3 to 6 months. You should be in there. If you are not, you should be marketing. Like I said, I really like the tip that I was given. The best time to send an LOI was yesterday. The second best time is today. If you feel like that was helpful, give it a thumbs up. That really made a difference for me. And we're not worried about what other people are doing. We can't control when they respond. So our job is to do what we can control and plant as many seeds as possible. Last thing here is that if you are feeling totally ghosted, go follow up with all your past clients. I have had a ton of follow-ups that I've done recently in the past few months where lots of people have switched jobs. So it's not just past clients as like the same person works there. A lot of people change jobs. So following up with a past client can mean sending a new LOI or a follow-up to a new person who didn't work with you and could have worked for you there. We want to make sure we're following up on our magazine pitches. So if there's a bunch of pitches that didn't find a home this year, make sure you're following up on those or repitching them. Make sure that anybody who has answered an LOI, Whatever the answer is, make sure you're following up on those at least every quarter. Those are your warm leads, because anybody who's responding to an LOI, it could be, hey, not right now, or I'm going to put you on file, or we might have something next quarter or in 2026 or whatever. Do it. Make sure you're following up on them with a regular cadence. And when you have important LOIs, so let's say there's important companies that you really like and really want to work with, make sure you're adding those to your quarterly follow-up. I don't typically follow up on LOIs unless I'm really psyched about that client, and I'm following up only on LOIs where someone responded or I'm starting to like build a relationship with them. But if you have a few clients, I have a couple, like two or three, that I really want to work with them. So I keep following up with them. But do it about every quarter. And that really helps you to get more leads, or understand where they are in their content process, or understand, what they're doing moving forward. And next time, if you are someone who is interested in leveling up certain things, leveling up your writing skills or your writing chops or your niche expertise or your client quality, or how you can actually level up to those ongoing projects, or how to use AI, I want to make sure that you check out this video below. I'm going through how to level up very specific things that you can take into the coming months that can help you get to the next level of your business. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time.